If that number was over 130 before eating anything, it's time to seriously rethink your breakfast yesterday. Many people with diabetes wake up and eat a bowl of cereal, a slice of white bread, or drink a glass of fruit juice, thinking it's a light and healthy breakfast. But the truth is, they've just dumped a massive load of sugar into their bloodstream without even realizing it. I used to be one of them, thinking I was eating smart. But after each sweet and healthy breakfast, I'd feel dizzy, tired, and hungry again just a couple of hours later. That's the trap of foods that look innocent but sabotage your health. There's a saying in America, breakfast can make or break your day. And for people with diabetes, it can shape your long-term health. If you're starting your mornings the wrong way, you're unknowingly causing daily blood sugar spikes. And if you don't change that habit, the consequences aren't just numbers on a glucose meter, they're complications, medications, and a declining quality of life. Stay with this video. I'll show you the real breakfast culprits and how to eat smarter to keep your blood sugar steady all day long. This is the kind of information I wish I had learned much earlier. 1. Breakfast cereal, a healthy illusion. The first mistake I made, and probably the most common among people with diabetes, was starting my day with a bowl of cereal. It sounds good. The box is full of promises, fortified with vitamins, whole grains, low fat, but what's the truth? Most breakfast cereals contain between 20 to 40 grams of sugar per serving. For example, a bowl of Frosted Flakes has 33 grams of sugar, almost 8 teaspoons, according to USDA data. For someone with diabetes, that's a slap in the face right after waking up. According to research from the American Diabetes Association, blood sugar can rise by 30 to 50 milligrams per deciliter within just 30 to 60 minutes after eating a high-carb, high-sugar breakfast like that. I've experienced it myself. Every time I ate a healthy cereal in the morning, within 1 to 2 hours, I'd feel dizzy and tired, and my blood sugar would shoot up to 200 milligrams per deciliter. This doesn't mean you should skip breakfast. It means you need a smarter breakfast. I switched to protein-rich options like eggs, avocado, salmon, or low-carb chaffles, egg and cheese waffles. The result? My morning blood sugar became stable, always around 90 to 110 milligrams per deciliter, with no more uncontrolled spikes. Remember, don't let breakfast ruin your entire day. Start with the right choices. 2. White bread, a sweet threat in disguise. After giving up cereal, I thought I was doing better. But then I made another serious mistake. I replaced it with white bread. One morning, I had eggs with 2 slices of white sandwich bread. It seemed fine, no sugar, right? But about an hour later, my blood sugar jumped from 105 to 178 milligrams per deciliter. I thought my glucose meter was broken. It wasn't. White bread is so refined. It acts like pure sugar once inside your body. According to Harvard School of Public Health, white bread has a glycemic index, GI, of 75 to 85, while whole grain bread is only around 50 to 55. A high GI means glucose floods your blood quickly, triggering a big insulin spike, leading to fatigue, hunger, and belly fat, which is a major threat for diabetics. Most commercial white breads are also packed with preservatives, additives, and even hidden sugars, making you think you're eating something savory, while your body absorbs fast carbs at an alarming rate. I switched to chaffles, made with eggs and cheese, or homemade almond flour bread. I felt full longer, more alert, and best of all, my morning blood sugar stayed between 95 to 105 milligrams per deciliter. No more morning alert, midday crash. A lot of people think bread is the safe part of a meal. But if you're eating soft, fluffy, cheap white bread, it's quietly destroying your blood sugar control every single day. Don't let convenience come at the cost of your health. 3. Pasta, a comfort food that crushes your blood sugar. I get it. You're tired after a long day and just want a warm, comforting meal. Pasta shows up like a friendly face. It's easy to cook, easy to eat, and pairs with anything from tomato sauce to meatballs and cheese. But for people with diabetes, pasta isn't comfort, it's a blood sugar trap. I used to eat a small portion of spaghetti with tomato sauce. It didn't seem like much, Maybe low carb, but just 1 cup of boiled pasta has about 43 grams of carbohydrates. According to the USDA nutrient database, if you eat a normal portion, it could easily reach 70 to 90 grams without even realizing it. Traditional white pasta, like spaghetti or penne, has a high glycemic index and rapidly raises blood sugar. After that meal, my glucose jumped from 110 to 195 milligrams per deciliter in just 1 hour. I felt frustrated. How could just a bit of pasta cause such a spike? Maybe you've been there too. You didn't eat candy, didn't drink soda, just a plate of pasta, and still paid the price. But you don't have to give up pasta entirely. I started replacing it with spiralized zucchini, zoodles, or seaweed noodles. It still felt like eating pasta, but with only a fifth of the carbs. My post-meal blood sugar barely rose, staying within a safe range. Best of all, I didn't feel tired or sleepy afterward. If you love pasta, I totally understand. Just love yourself a little more by choosing a pancreas-friendly version. 4. Potatoes. Your friendly carb that betrays your blood sugar. We all grew up thinking a meal with potatoes was comforting and nutritious. Mashed, boiled, fried potatoes feel familiar, even healthy, but for people with diabetes, potatoes are not your friend. Dr. David Ludwig, a world-renowned endocrinologist and professor at Harvard Medical School, once said, "Potatoes raise blood sugar faster than refined sugar." According to his research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, potatoes have a very high glycemic index, between 78 to 111. Depending on how they're cooked, that means just one medium boiled potato, approximately 150 grams, can spike your blood sugar as much as 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar. I thought eating boiled potatoes was okay, but within 30 to 60 minutes of a potato-based meal, my glucose jumped from 98 to 170 milligrams per deciliter. Despite not tasting sweet, potatoes turn into glucose almost instantly in your bloodstream. What's worse, potatoes often hide in other dishes, stews, salads, or appetizers at parties. If you eat mindlessly, you're feeding your blood sugar silently. I switched to mashed cauliflower instead. It looks and feels like mashed potatoes, but with nearly 10 times less carbs. No blood sugar spikes, no post-meal fatigue, no stress. You don't have to give up all your favorite foods, but you must know which ones are silently working against you, and potatoes, despite their friendly face, are one of them. 5. Fried foods, tasty, but a pancreas killer. I used to crave the smell of hot French fries, crispy fried chicken, or golden fried patties. These foods brought back childhood memories, hangouts with friends, or just a quick meal on a busy day. But they were secretly pushing my insulin resistance to dangerous levels. Deep-fried foods are loaded with trans fats and saturated fats, 2 types of fat that worsen inflammation and metabolic dysfunction in people with diabetes. According to the American Heart Association, 1 serving of French fries, approximately 117 grams, contains about 17 grams of fat, including nearly 3 grams of saturated fat and 370 milligrams of sodium. For diabetics, that means not just higher blood sugar after eating, but also an increased risk of heart complications, which is one of the deadliest threats. I once measured my blood sugar after a fried chicken and fries lunch. It shot from 102 to 192 milligrams per deciliter in under 90 minutes. I felt tired, foggy, and sluggish the entire afternoon. Since switching to oil-free baked meals, air fryer alternatives, or simply steaming and lightly seasoning my food, I feel lighter. My glucose stays stable, and there's no more crash and burn after meals. Delicious doesn't always mean safe. And for people with diabetes, 1 crispy bite could cost you hours of elevated blood sugar and long-term health. Be cautious with fried foods. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. 6. Saturated fats, the silent destroyer of insulin sensitivity. As someone who has spent years studying and coaching diabetes patients, I've realized a harsh truth. Most people still confuse good fats with bad ones. When they hear the word fat, they think it's all dangerous. But the truth is much more nuanced. Saturated fats, commonly found in red meat, animal fat, butter, heavy cream, and processed cheese have a stable structure, but when consumed in large amounts, they reduce your body's insulin sensitivity. In simple terms, your cells don't respond to insulin as effectively, so blood sugar rises, even if you're not eating much carbohydrate. According to Diabetes Care, the Journal of the American Diabetes Association, a diet high in saturated fat increased insulin resistance by up to 43% in pre-diabetic individuals after just 6 weeks. Another study from Harvard found that replacing just 5% of calories from saturated fat with unsaturated fats, like olive oil, nuts, or fish, reduced the risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 35%. I always recommend patients choose healthy fats such as extra virgin olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish like salmon. These not only stabilize blood sugar, but also protect your heart. Fat isn't the enemy, but choosing the wrong fats can make it impossible to manage your diabetes. And for diabetics, this confusion could be the line between disease progression and true recovery. 7. Packaged snacks, the hidden threat in your bag and pantry. Once I had my main meals under control, I felt confident I was on the right track. But something still didn't add up. My blood sugar would occasionally spike out of nowhere, even though I wasn't eating rice, sweets, or soda. The culprit? Harmless-looking packaged snacks, crunchy chips, cookies, healthy granola bars, even unsweetened rice crackers. These are silent saboteurs for people with diabetes. They're small, convenient, and easy to snack on, but they're loaded with refined carbs, cheap oils, and excessive sodium. A study by the National Institutes of Health found that people who consumed more ultra-processed foods had a 31% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who ate mostly whole foods. And the danger isn't just the carbs, it's also how these snacks disrupt your body's natural satiety signals, making you eat more without realizing it. I used to snack on a few rice crackers during work, thinking, just a few won't hurt. But after testing my blood sugar, it jumped from 95 to 160 milligrams per deciliter in under an hour. Since then, I've switched to almonds, roasted chia seeds, or pre-cut veggies. Still crunchy, still convenient, but much safer. Don't let shiny snack packages fool you. In the battle for blood sugar control, your biggest enemy may not be at the dinner table, but in those mindless snack moments. 8. Overly sweet fruits, the bitter truth behind a healthy image. In the US and Europe, we're told to eat more fruit for better health. But if you're living with diabetes, not all fruits are your friends. In fact, the wrong fruits could be the reason millions fail to control their blood sugar every day. According to the CDC, over 38 million Americans live with diabetes, with 1.4 million new cases each year. In Europe, WHO reports that adult diabetes prevalence has passed 9%. With the majority being type 2 caused by lifestyle and dietary choices. Sadly, many of these individuals believe that eating lots of fruit is healthy, until their blood sugar skyrockets after a fruit dessert of grapes, mangoes, watermelon, or ripe bananas. Did you know just 1 cup of grapes, approximately 150 grams, contains around 23 grams of sugar, nearly 6 teaspoons? Watermelon and mango also have high glycemic indexes, GI greater than 70, causing rapid blood sugar spikes within 30 to 60 minutes. I once worked with a German patient, 56 years old, who didn't eat candy or soda, but ate 2 bananas daily, thinking it was good for digestion. His post-meal blood sugar was always over 180 milligrams per deciliter, until he switched to berries like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. Just 3 weeks later, his daily readings stabilized below 120 milligrams per deciliter. Fruit isn't bad, but for diabetics, sweet doesn't mean safe. Choose wisely, and you can still enjoy nature's flavor without compromising your health. 9. Fruit juice. Sunshine in a glass, or a blood sugar trap? Sounds healthy, right? A glass of orange juice in the morning, apple juice after lunch, or a chilled fruit smoothie in the afternoon. But if you're living with diabetes, it's time to stop and ask, are you drinking vitamins or sugar? A typical 8 ounces, 240 milliliters, glass of orange juice contains about 21 to 26 grams of sugar, almost 6 teaspoons, according to the USDA. Grape juice can contain up to 36 grams of sugar, even more than some sodas. Meanwhile, a whole orange only has about 12 grams of sugar, plus fiber to slow glucose absorption. When comparing risk versus reward, juice simply isn't worth it. Yes, it's fast, convenient, and has vitamins, but the fiber is gone. The sugar hits fast, and portion control is nearly impossible. A study in the BMJ following over 66,000 people found that regular fruit juice drinkers had a 21% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes than those who ate whole fruit. I tested it myself. One fresh carrot juice shot my blood sugar from 95 to 168 milligrams per deciliter in just 45 minutes. Eating the same amount of whole carrots? Barely nudged it past 110. If you love fruit, eat it. Don't drink it. Chewing beats sipping. It gives you fiber, slows digestion, and keeps your blood sugar more stable. 10. Sweet desserts. A sweet ending, or the start of complications? As a clinical nutritionist for people with diabetes, I'll say this bluntly. Sweet desserts are something diabetics should avoid as early and as often as possible. Don't be fooled by just one bite. A small slice of cake, approximately 100 grams, can contain 40 to 50 grams of carbs. That's 10 to 12 teaspoons of sugar. A bubble tea, sweet soup, or coconut ice cream on a weekend night can spike your blood sugar by 80 to 100 milligrams per deciliter within an hour. For those with high HbA1c, these spikes push you dangerously close to heart, nerve, and kidney complications. According to the American Diabetes Association, ADA, post-meal blood sugar should ideally rise no more than 50 milligrams per deciliter. But most traditional desserts blow past that, especially if eaten at night, when your body is more sensitive to glucose. I once followed a 48-year-old patient who managed her daytime sugar levels well, but treated herself to a small dessert every evening. Her fasting blood sugar was always over 160 milligrams per deciliter the next morning, even with a low-carb dinner. After cutting out sweet desserts for just 2 weeks, her morning readings dropped to 105 milligrams per deciliter, without changing her meds. Living with diabetes doesn't mean living in misery, but it does mean being alert around sweet temptations. If you need dessert, try low-fat cheese, 85% plus dark chocolate, or berries with unsweetened Greek yogurt. Just enough sweetness, and blood sugar stays in check. You see, controlling diabetes isn't about luck, it's about making the right choices every single day. Every meal is a decision, to nourish your health or feed the disease. And often, the foods that seem harmless are the quiet saboteurs that keep you stuck in cycles of fatigue, medications, and frustration. But you're not alone. I've been there, confused, overwhelmed, unsure what to believe. Then I started learning. I made changes. I started testing. And the results came. Blood sugar stabilized. My energy returned. My mind got clearer. Most importantly, I took back control of my body. Now it's your turn. Don't wait 6 months, a year, or a complication to act. Start today. Just one change in your meal. One dangerous food removed. One smarter step forward. You can do this, and you deserve a life of strength, freedom, and vibrant health, unshackled by blood sugar swings.